Hello everyone. This is Madhu Chaitanan. In this video class, let's discuss about classification of ratios for BCom BBA, Subject Management Accounting, Unit number 3. Unit number 3, Ratio Analysis. Ratio Analysis. Classification of ratios. Ratios can be classified into three groups according to the statements from which they are calculated. The first one is balance sheet ratio. These ratios deal with relationship between two items appearing in the balance sheet. Example, current ratio, current assets to current liability are called as current assets, current ratio. These ratios are also known as financial position ratios since they reflect the financial position of the business. Operating ratios or profit and loss account ratios. These ratios express the relationship between two individuals or group of items appearing in the income or profit and loss account statement. Since they reflect the operating conditions of a business, they are also known as operating ratios. Example, gross profit to sales, cost of goods sold to sales, etc. Next, combined ratios. These ratios express the relationship between two items, each appearing in different statements. That is, one appearing in balance sheet while the other in income statement. Example, return on investment, assets turnover ratio. Since both the statements are involved in the calculation of each of the ratios, they are also known as interstatement ratios. Since the balance sheet figures refers to one point of time, while the income statement figures refers to events over a period of time. Care must be taken while calculating combined or inter-statement ratios. For example, while computing assets turnover ratio, average assets should be taken on the basis of opening and ending balance sheets. Now, classification from the point of view of financial management's objectives. Based on the objectives, liquidity ratios, capital structure ratios, turnover ratios, and profitability ratios. Coming to the liquidity ratios, under liquidity ratios, current ratio, liquid ratio, absolute liquid ratios, or super quick ratios are there. In a short period, a firm should be able to meet all its short term obligations, that is, current liabilities and provisions. It is current assets that yield funds in the short period. Current assets are those assets which the firm can convert into cash within 1 year or in short run. Short run. Current assets should not only yield sufficient funds to meet current liabilities as they fall due, but also enable the firm to carry on its day-to-day activities. The ratios to test the short-term solvency or liquidity positions of an enterprise are mainly current ratio, liquid ratio, and absolute liquid ratio. What is current ratio? How it is calculated? So current ratio are also known as working capital ratio. It is the most widely used ratio. It is the ratio of total current assets to current liabilities and is calculated by dividing the current assets by current liability. Which one? The current ratio. So current ratio is calculated by dividing the current assets by current liabilities. Then liquid ratio. This ratio is also known as quick ratio. The liquid ratio is also known as quick ratio or acid test ratio. This ratio is calculated by relating liquid or quick assets to current liabilities. Liquid assets mean those assets which are immediately converted into cash without any loss or without much loss. All current assets except inventories and prepaid expenses are categorized as liquid assets. The ratio can be computed by liquid ratio equals liquid assets divided by current liability. Liquid ratio may also be computed by substituting liquid liabilities in place of current liabilities. Liquid liabilities means those liabilities which are payable within a short period. Bank overdraft and cash credit facilities, if they become a permanent mode of financing, are to be excluded from current liabilities to arrive at liquid liabilities. So the liquid ratio can also be calculated as liquid assets divided by liquid liabilities. Now the absolute liquid ratio is calculated by cash in hand and cash at bank plus short term marketable securities will be divided by current liabilities. Dividing the cash in hand and at bank and short term marketable securities by current liabilities, we can calculate the super quick ratio or absolute liquid ratio. The capital structure ratios. The most important capital structure ratios are debt equity ratio, proprietary ratio, interest coverage ratio, debt to total funds ratio, capital gearing ratio. The debt equity ratio is calculated by using long term debt divided by shareholders fund. The debt equity ratio is calculated by using the formula long term debt divided by shareholders fund. The total debts or shareholders fund. The alternative formula is total debts divided by shareholders fund. So total debts here indicates the long term debts and also the short term debts. Or alternative method is external equity or internal equity. So long term debt includes debentures and long term loans. Shareholders fund includes share capital plus accumulated profit, means general reserve and any other funds belongs to the shareholders. Now coming to the second one, the proprietary ratio. The formula to calculate proprietary ratio is shareholders fund divided by total assets. The total assets are tangible and intangible assets. Shareholders fund is share capital plus accumulated profit. The accumulated profit includes general reserve and any other funds belong to the shareholders. Coming to the interest coverage ratio. The earning before interest and tax, that is EBIT, earnings before interest and tax divided by fixed interest charges. The fixed interest charges means interest on debentures and long term loans where the interest has to be paid whether there is profit or loss from the company. The company has to pay the interest for borrowed funds, that is fixed interest. And EBIT is earnings before interest and tax. Then debt to total funds ratio, debt divided by total funds. Debt equals long-term debt loans plus current liabilities. So that here debt includes long-term debts as well as current liabilities. The total funds includes shareholders fund plus long-term loans plus current liabilities. The total funds includes shareholders fund plus long-term loans plus current liabilities. Now the capital gearing ratio. The capital gearing ratio is calculated by fixed income security divided by equity shareholders fund. The formula to calculate capital gearing ratio is fixed income security divided by equity shareholders fund. Now moving to the turnover ratios. The turnover ratios are used to indicate the efficiency with which assets and resources of the firm are being utilized. The important turnover ratios are inventory turnover ratio, it is also called as stock turnover ratios, debtors turnover ratio, fixed assets turnover ratios, working capital turnover ratios, creditors turnover ratios. The inventory turnover ratio is calculated by dividing cost of goods sold divided by average inventories. Cost of goods sold divided by average inventories. So inventory turnover ratio equals stock turnover ratio equals cost of goods sold divided by average inventories. What is cost of goods sold? Cost of goods sold is sales minus gross profit. Sales minus gross profit, or it can be calculated as opening stock plus net purchases plus direct expenses minus closing stock. If we add opening stock, net purchase and direct expenses and deduct the closing stock from these three, we will get the cost of goods sold. Then what is the average inventory? Average inventory is opening stock plus closing stock divided by 2. Average inventory is opening stock plus closing stock divided by 2. Then the second one is debtors turnover ratio. The debtors turnover ratio is calculated by using the formula credit sales divided by average debtors. What is credit sales? The credit sales is total sales minus cash sales minus returns is credit sales. What is average debtors? Opening debtors plus opening bills receivables plus closing debtors plus closing bills receivables divided by 2. Here one thing to remember is that debtors include trade debtors and bills receivables. Then here we have to calculate the average collection period also. To calculate the average collection period, the formula used is number of days in a year divided by debtors turnover ratio. So number of days in a year is 365 days, or sometimes it may be given 360 days, whatever the given in the problem, which we have to take. If nothing is given, if number of days is not given, then we can take the 365 days in a year. Now moving to fixed assets turnover ratio. Fixed assets turnover ratio is sales or cost of sales. The formula to calculate the fixed asset turnover ratio is cost of sales or cost of goods sold divided by net fixed assets. So cost of goods sold is calculated by deducting the gross profit from net sales or adding opening stock, net purchases and direct expenses, deducting closing stock from these three. The cost of goods sold can be calculated. Net fixed assets. What is net fixed assets? The fixed assets minus depreciation is called as net fixed assets. Now working capital turnover ratio. Working capital turnover ratio, formula to calculate working capital turnover ratio is cost of goods sold divided by net working capital, or sales, net sales, or cost of goods sold divided by net working capital. So net sales, sales minus return, sales returns. Net working capital is current assets minus current liability. If we deduct the current assets minus current liability, we will get net working capital. Next, creditors turnover ratio. Net credit purchase divided by average accounts payable, or average creditors. Net credit purchase divided by average accounts payable, or average creditors. What is net credit purchase? Total purchases minus cash purchases minus cash, total purchases minus cash purchases minus purchase returns. Or directly you can take the credit purchase if it is given. And what is average creditors? Average creditors includes opening creditors plus opening bills payable plus closing creditors plus closing bills payable divided by 2. Here if we are asked to calculate the average payment period, then it is calculated by using the formula number of days in a year divided by creditors turnover ratio. Number of days in a year divided by creditors turnover ratio. Here also 365 days in a year can be taken. If 360 days is given in the problem, that should be taken. Now moving to the profitability ratios. A measure of profitability is the overall measurement of efficiency. In general terms, efficiency of business is measured by the input-output analysis. By measuring the output as a proportion of the input and comparing results of similar other firms or periods, the relative changes in its profitability can be established. The important profitability ratios are gross profit ratio, net profit ratio, operating ratio, earnings per share, return on equity. The gross profit ratio is calculated by using the formula gross profit divided by net sales into 100. The net profit is calculated by using the formula net profit divided by net sales into 100. Then the operating profit is calculated by using the formula cost of goods sold plus operating expenses divided by net sales into 100. Then earning per share. So net profit after tax divided by number of equity shares. Net profit after tax divided by number of equity shares. Then return on equity. EBIT, earnings before interest and tax, divided by shareholders fund into 100. EBIT divided by shareholders fund into 100. With this, I am ending this video. Thank you very much.